lamp. And, and I am the state treasurer, and we're going to talk a little bit about being treasurer. And Miss Barbara Ward, are you Lee County? Is that correct?
No, it's Randolph County.
Randolph County. Okay. But you have a fellow, are you all co-treasurers? Are you the ones that are
Yeah.
co-treasurers? And
Yes,
one does computers and one does paper.
we work together. I really kind of keep the books, but she does all this
Other
computer.
stuff. Right. Okay. I remember that from last time. I think I recognize Dr. Johnson on here. Hi, Dr. Johnson. How are you today?
I'm great, Jack. Gretchen, how are you?
Oh, Lord, if I were any good, they'd throw me out for being too good. So I'd keep watching myself. So, all right. Well, I'll start sharing my screen and I've got to go. I think I put this deck down here. Did I? Of course not. Hold on a minute.
Right there. That looks works.
Um,
Hmm.
okay. See if I got to share my screen, if it will be okay. Yep, there it is. Well, there it is. There you have all the important information about me, my telephone number, and my email address. And we will be sending you a copy of the presentation once it's all over with, and it will also be available on the website. Okay?
Okay.
So let's start out with Ms. Ward. Barbara there, would you introduce your partner in crime and tell us where you're from and why you're here?
Okay, I'm Barbara Ward. I'm the co-treasurer. Really, Barbara Mallard here with me is the real treasurer. She does the treasurer's reports and, collects the money. She does all the important stuff. I do the emails and computer and Zoom sessions or whatever. So, and I don't guess you can, you're screen sharing, so I don't think you can see. I don't think you can see us now, but there are two of us, the two Barbaras, and we work together well.
Okay, well, you're over on my side screen, so I can see you over on the side screen here.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And this is my friend Sharon next. So, Sharon, introduce yourself.
Oh, me, Sharon?
You, Sharon.
Sharon Irwin Smart, and I'm the president in Haywood County, and I'm in 1A.
Yeah, we are on the executive board together in 1A.
Yes.
Dr. Oliver.
Yes, Oliver Johnson. I'm Region Director, 7B, but my really important job is Treasurer of the Johnson County Local.
All right. And you also have a really important job too at the state level, having to do with money.
Hey, I'm on this Zoom meeting about treasurer right now. Okay, I'll call you back.
What is, so what's your important job at the state level having to do with money?
Oh, well, I'm co-chair of the investment committee.
All right. So we have a little bit of money invested in over at Raymond James, and Dr. Johnson and our parliamentarian He's he's the
Roger.
Thank you. He's the Cleveland. He's from Cleveland County, and he is the Region 1B treasurer.
Yeah, Roger.
Roger. Yes.
Roger.
This is it Roxy Colley? Am I saying it correctly?
Yes, it's Roxy.
And where are you from, Miss Roxy?
Wayne County.
All
and
right.
I serve as the treasurer there.
All right. We're so happy to have you with us. And Miss Strickland, Linda Strickland, where are you from?
I sound up. Okay. I'm Linda Strickland, and I am outgoing treasurer of the Durham Retired School Personnel. And I'm here just to keep abreast of things as a member now, not in a leadership capacity.
We're so glad to have you with us. Thank you. Okay. Rebecca Liberty?
Yes.
So where are you from, Miss Rebecca?
Well, I live in New Bern, but I taught in Pamlico County, and I'm their treasurer.
All right. And Sharon Dove, what a pretty name. Where are you from, Sharon?
Thank you so much. I'm from Kinston, North Carolina.
Oh, great barbecue down that way.
Yes, I am here just to obtain information.
We're so happy to have you.
Thank you.
I try to convince Dr. Johnson to invite me down. I'd love to come down and have some more barbecue with y'all.
Okay.
Okay, Miss Carol, introduce yourself if you would please. Miss Carol McLeod.
Yes, greetings. Hello. I'm one of two part-time staffers for NCRSP. I work in the mornings and Tara's there mostly in the afternoons, but we're there to help you with all your member needs and information that you're looking for. We work with the committees, and we certainly work with the board and the leadership, and we're just happy to be here. Thank you for being here.
And Miss Tara, you introduce yourself, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Tara Williams, the retired office manager here in Raleigh, doing everything to ensure that all of our members are well taken care of. So thank you for being a member.
Well, thank you all. And just so you all know, you better be nice to Miss Tara and Miss Carol, because I am the treasurer, but guess who doesn't sign the checks? The treasurer does not sign the checks. That's got to be signed for and taken care of out of our nice folks down there in Raleigh. And Carol keeps the books for us in an amazing way and keeps the executive board fully informed of what's going on with that dues money that you pay to us and that we really appreciate. So thank you. Is there one really, really important thing that you want me to be sure that I talk about today? And you can either put that in chat or raise your hand, and Carol and Tara will help me make sure everybody gets to tell us about one particular thing and that you might want to talk about. Okay, just the whole gambit, and you'll stop me when I need to.
I can't find a way to raise my hand.
Okay.
But we're really interested in that requirement about what, an N90 postcard thing?
Yes, we'll talk about that. Yes, that's a good one that we need to talk about.
Okay.
And Tama Bouncer has joined us, the new NCRSP state president. Tama, you want to say hi and bring some greetings here?
Well, hello to everyone, and glad to see you here at the training. So this will support what you already know and provide information for those areas where there may be additional information needed so that you can provide the financial support needed for your local or your region. appreciate you being here. It helps me because this way, if I'm asked questions, and it's especially if it's a question that I know the answer, I'll be prepared.
And okay, now has everybody gotten to say hello? Tell us where you're from.
Now, there's three others.
Okay, so introduce yourself if you haven't done so. Because I can't see everybody right now.
I'm Dorothy Woodard. I'm from Iredell RSP.
Oh, okay. Not too far away. You're up here in sort of in the western part. Okay. Who else? Anybody else?
Sarah. Is that Sarah Bailey?
I don't see. Okay.
There's someone that's iPad. I'm not sure who they are.
Okay, who's on our iPad today? All right. Then we'll be sure to answer that tax question before we are over today.
I'm Frankie Beam from Lincoln County. Sorry.
Oh, welcome. Good to see you.
Sorry, I haven't figured all this out yet. I'm sorry.
You're fine. You're fine.
Mm.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about the local treasurer and the region treasurer. So your responsibility, your fiduciary responsibility, and if you'll notice on TV sometimes when they start talking about people investing money and things like that, sometimes they talk about somebody being a financial person. And then others will talk about that they have fiduciary responsibility. Fiduciary responsibility is a heavier weight than just talking about that you have a financial responsibility. A fiduciary responsibility means that you've got to act with care and in the best interest of whoever it is you're working with. So you have a fiduciary responsibility to follow the law, follow policy, and follow guidelines to make sure that your membership is well served and that you are spending the dues money to fulfill the mission of NCRSP. And I have got a link there, and if you click on that link, it'll take you over to our website, and it will show you the governing documents that tell us what our mission is. And our mission is to work to make sure that our retirees are getting the benefits and the help that they need to have a full retirement. And we also have a duty responsibility to public education in the communities and in the state. So I hope as we put together our budgets and our strategic plans this year, that we will think about what is it that we need to be doing locally or regionally to support our retirees and to help with public education in our locals and communities. Now, you also have a fiduciary responsibility to make sure that the money that you collect in dues is put safely into a banking account. Now, the thing that you need to be making sure of is that the institution in which you have your money is insured. If you're part of a regular bank, then you're going to be insured by the Federal Depositors Insurance Corporation up to the amount of $250,000. And just to clarify this, because I think that a lot of people don't realize this, but if you have your money in Wells Fargo, it isn't $250,000 per branch of Wells Fargo. No matter how many branches they have, you're only entitled to $250,000 worth of banking coverage to have your money being seen to. The credit unions, through the credit union associations, also have your money insured. Again, the same way. Only for, it's not like if I put it in 10 different banks, I'm going to get $2 million. No, that's not how it's going to work. Okay. Now, you got to have a budget committee. So it's the president's responsibility to appoint a budget committee, or the executive board can act as the budget committee. It probably would be best if you would explain that or put that into your bylaws, that the budget committee is made up of the executive board. Or it can be just a committee that's been appointed. The thing about it is once that budget is put together, it must be approved by the board and then by your membership. And once it gets approved, then I need you to then provide a copy of your local budget or your regional budget by sending it to the NCRSP office no later than October the 15th of 2026. Each local or region treasurer at your, if it's a monthly meeting, quarterly meeting, whenever you all meet, you should be presenting a regular financial report. The difference between a financial report and a budget report is that the financial report will have the row of columns that show the items of the budget and how much has been budgeted. The next column then would show for what month you're reporting. So let's say it's now January. It would say, as of January 2027 financial report, and you would put down for each of those budget items what has been spent. And then on a third column, it would say how much budget's remaining. Oh, and you would also want to highlight if you've gone over the budget at that point. That would be real helpful for people to know. The budget is not approved in any way. There doesn't have to be a motion to approve it. What the president says is the financial report shall be filed with the minutes of the meeting. Then also, you are now at the point where you're getting ready to do the audit. Audits are required to be back into NCRSP by August the 15th. Now, the audit document is available online at ncrsp.org, down where it says reports and documents. And you can copy it off there. If you prefer to have that audit form either emailed you or mailed to you, if you would put in the chat your name and the fact that you would like that audit form sent to you, whether you want it to come by email or mail. If you will let Tara know, she will put you in the right direction of getting that paper copy to you. The audit is done by committee. Again, the president appoints the audit committee. You cannot be part of an audit committee. You can't be responsible for the audit if you are on the checking account of the organization. You cannot be part of who signs checks, nor can you be anybody in your household who's kin to you cannot, if you're on the checking account, your husband, wife, sister, brother, child, whatever, cannot be on that audit committee. If they're kin to you, they can't be on the audit committee. Okay? Now, if you'd like to write this down, just to be sure you know, the audit committee will need, when they do the audit, the checkbooks or the checks that have been used during this fiscal year. And the fiscal year runs from June the 1st. This one would be from June 1st, 2025 till July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2026. So any checks that were written between June 1st of 2025 and June 30th of 2026, those checks need to be in the hand, those checkbooks need to be in the hands of the audit committee as they do the audit. Your bank statements for the past year should be available to the audit committee. And expense reimbursement forms, whatever you call the form, or even a receipt book. Some people still use receipt books. Whatever you call the form where you fill it out to show who the check has been written to and for what purpose the check was written, the number of the check, and what code it should be credited to or debited from. Do I need to repeat that?
Yes.
Do I need to be clear?
Repeat, please.
Repeat, okay. You need the checkbooks for checks that have been signed between June the 1st, July 1st of 2025 through June the 30th of 2026. You need the bank statements for that year between July 1st of 2025 through June 30th of 2026. Any statements that cover those dates. And you need the reimbursement forms that have receipts that accompany them to show for what the money was spent. So the check number on the reimbursement form those should match up and show how the money was spent, because there should be physical proof of it. And that's how they will audit the books. Do you have?
Excuse me, Gretchen. You mentioned the word code. What did you mean by that?
Okay. So we're going to talk about codes in a little while. If you don't have a code on there, but if you have, what was it for? What part of the budget would that come from? In other words, if you have, it was the meeting room expense. All right. So that would have been under your meetings. You just need to be able to help the committee track from whence part of the budget did the money come to pay for that item, or this item proves that this amount of money was taken from this portion of the budget. what we're accounting for there is this is how much money was spent. And here's the proof, either in a receipt, reimbursement form, whatever, that shows it went to the proper account and to a proper person or a proper business. Does that make sense?
Oh, yes, yes, it does.
Okay,
It's like what you would write on the memo line.
right. What am I
Yeah.
writing it on the memo line? That is the perfect explanation of it. Okay. And so sometimes I'm going to show you something called a chart of accounts in a few minutes. A lot of organizations, including NCRSP, has a chart of accounts. And that is the particular areas that we spend money for in the budget. And we keep them in what they call code areas. There's this chart of account has code numbers that goes with it. And as we talk about the budget, I will tell you why code numbers can become important, especially, for most local budgets or regional budgets, yours may not be that big. But once you are spending a whole lot of money and writing a whole lot of checks or, bills on credit cards, being able to go to a code and ask for what we call a code history. A code history will tell you everything that has been spent in that particular area and to whom the money went or to what place the money went and how much it was. That way, for big expenditures, let's just say that you all spent something like $300 on one particular thing, and somebody says, well, why on earth did we spend $300 there? That doesn't make any sense. What you do is looking at the purchase order receipts or stuff and looking at a memo line or at a code line, you can say, well, here's how we spent that $300. It's all documented right here. I know Dr. Oliver worked with school systems. School systems, their code of accounts are pretty important because you can, if the school board's really wondering about what's going on, they could actually ask for what they call a check history to accompany a code to say, oh yeah, here's how that money was spent in that code, and know whether they're agreeing with it or not. And the same thing could happen with a local or a region. If you see a whole lot of money being spent one place and you say, well, what did we spend that money on? And that if we spend it on tiddlywinks at the doodle doodle market, we might say, we don't like for our money to be spent at the doodle market on twigglywinks. We prefer it be spent for donations to the North Carolina Foundation for Public School Children. Okay? I hope that helps. So I've sort of shown you sort of how I think about budgets and what they might look like. So, normally your budget's going to have the name of your organization and what budget year it's for. And remembering, I'm just reminding you that our fiscal year runs from July 1st to June 30th. Our membership year runs September the 1st to August 31st. That doesn't make any sense sometimes, but that's how it works. So that's how sometimes if there will be a discrepancy in funds in terms of maybe dues or things like that, because it's after, if anything happens over the summer and people join or people die or they cancel, it'll be after September the 1st is where the biggest cleanup happens. They do something that we call roll the membership rolls at NEA, everybody in the whole United States, all the locals, the retired groups, everybody, all of the membership rolls during that period, so that the next time that you will get a report after September the 1st of a year, that's counting your new membership year. So if people have canceled membership over the summertime, if people have died, if they've traveled to another local, whatever, that's when you will see them coming off or going on to your membership roll. That's a biggie date. So as you start to put your budget together and you start thinking about dues, another place in here it says, did you look back at your former budget? So what you want to do is looking, so you finished out your budget year now. You start looking and say, well, how much dues did we get in? You know, did we get in as much dues as we thought we were going to? Did we get more dues than we thought we were going to? How's our membership looking? That's how you start forecasting what your income under dues is. If you're a region, you're going to get $7 a person for your incoming dues. For a local, it's $10 per person. Are you the kind of association that does sales? In other words, do you sometime during the year, if I'm up in where Sharon is, am I going to go out then and sell apples or apple jelly or something like that to make money for my local? If I do, I had Bertie County on here a while ago. You know, I might sell me some peanuts if I was down in Bertie County, if I wanted to get some money for my local. But if you do any kind of sales, that's where that would go. Donations. If you have folks in town or around and they want to donate money to you, that's where you put the donations. If you get a grant, either from the region, from the state, that's where that money goes. And then any interest that you might have earned. So that starts to make up your income. Now, there's one other thing that can be income, and this depends on what you do in your local or region, mostly doing with the local. So let's say that you have a scholarship fund. And let's say it's the end of the year. You have closed out your membership year. And on July 1st, when you look back, oh my goodness, we had $1,000 left this year. Now, what are we going to do with that $1,000? Now, you may have a policy, so to speak, written into your minutes that say, if we end our year with money left, then we will take that money and we are going to put it in our scholarship fund. If you have such a recording, then that's what you would do with the money. It would roll over and you would deposit it into the scholarship fund and be sure that you get a deposit slip and you record all of that.
Gretchen.
Yes.
Okay. Doesn't that go against the rule that you're not supposed to use any dues money for scholarships?
What I would say is this: you must use 50 to 80% of all dues money to the benefit of your members. If when you get through with a membership year and you have money left, I think I'll ask our CPA to be okay with it. But the thing about it is you have to make sure that at least 50 to 80% of any dues money that you have and take in is used to the benefit of your members. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does, except every time, everything we've heard up until today
You can't mix them.
You were
That's right.
not supposed to spend $1 of the dues money, on scholarships. That was just why I was asking for
Yeah,
clarification.
it's not, you can't just say we're taking 50% of our money and putting it over in scholarship. You can't do that. You can't budget it that way.
All right.
But I will find out, what if I get to the end of the membership year and I have money left? Then what can I do? I will tell you at NCRSP, if we get through with money at the end of our membership year, we can roll it into our investment account, which we do. Or last year, we carried it forward as a cash balance. You can do that. Now, if you carry it over at a cash balance, it's going to go up here at the top above dues. You're going to put balance forward or cash balance, okay, from previous year. Up above where you say dues. It will act as income. But the most important thing you've got to remember about this is the difference between something like a cash balance going on here and dues money going on here is the fact that that cash balance does not recur. It doesn't come back every year. So we might end this year with $2,000 worth of money, but we might end next year with zero. So you don't want to have to depend on your cash balance to sustain your budget. It's like a goodie gift that you get, but it doesn't come back every year.
Gretchen, another question. I don't mean to monopolize things, but there are a couple of things that are problematic. First of all, we can multiply $10 times our number of members, but so many of them are paid, most of them are paid by bank draft or recurring credit card, and it's done every month. And you don't know actually how much dues money you're going to get, because sometimes it isn't going to be a full year. And also at the end of the year, we don't get the actual money. We don't get the checks with the money from like 2026 as of June the 30th of 2026. We may not get the actual money from the dues for 25-26 year until when? October some?
Yeah. Yes.
How come it doesn't come till October?
That's just the way it is.
Yes, but we're saying we sometimes don't get from the region the portion. We get it four times a year, and sometimes at those last payments we're into the next year before we get what's left that we're supposed to get from 2026, 25, 26. We have so far this year received 3 of the payments, although one came after we had finished out our year in May. May is our last meeting. And we won't get that 4th one. I don't know when. Whenever it comes, that's when I'll get it. But, so.
That's true.
Okay. So.
Now that's,
so, what I would say, okay, let's see. Okay, Carol. Normally they would journal. Let's think about this a minute. It's now September or the 1st of October, and you've gotten your last 25-26 dues money on October the 5th. You're going to put it in the bank. Okay, that's the first thing you're going to do. you can account for it in the dues line because what that's going to show is incoming dues. I would say to you that that money that you get late, I would take it and I would put it in dues, but I would come over to my expenditure lines and I would put it in contingency with a note that so much of this money was from previous year's dues. Just to remind yourself that part of last year's dues is sitting in your contingency, though you have to account for it as income in this year's dues. Now, if you find that a quarter of the money is, out there, blah, and then it comes in, you can amend your budget at any time, as long as you bring it as a motion to the body to be voted on. So you could account for it in this way. We just got in our last dues payment from 25-26. We want to amend our income line by this amount of money, and we want to amend our contingency by this amount of money. Then if you find that you're going to need money, or that you're going to need money in other areas and that you didn't put enough money in another part of the budget, when you're amending the income to show the late coming in dues, go to the expense line that needs the money and ask that that money be put to that expense, budgeted to that expense. And that's about the best advice I can think of to give you, because you don't journal. So that.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Gretchen. I was just going to say what I'm sure everyone else understood what you just said, but to me, you were just speaking Mandarin Chinese.
Okay. Then let's.
No idea.
Okay. Let's look at income. Okay. So think about income. That's dues money, right?
Right.
So, but what's happened?
But what's happened is happened every year.
Okay.
So, when you go back, I went back and added all my dues as I started planning of what I'd received. So whatever I got last fall was included. And I know that I'm going to not do the budget now. We know there's another one coming. So the fact that it comes late, it's still going to be spent this year because it's part of the dues. Is that not right?
It's going to, okay, whenever you get that dues money, it's going to be counted in the income for this year because that's when you received it.
Yes.
When you receive the income, it has to go into the year that because we do cash accounting.
So,
but also we don't have advanced accounting techniques that we use.
Okay.
If we were working with a CPA, then the CPA would be telling us how to journal that to show it.
Okay. But you can't form a budget. I mean, you've got to know how much income you're going to have in order to get the budget so you can break it down into what can be used, because you can't spend money you don't have. So if you don't anticipate that money coming, whether it comes in September or whether it comes in before the end of the year, then you can't plan.
Here's what you can do. Do you end the year with any money?
Yes.
Okay. Then put that money as cash forward balance and expend it under contingency, which means you're not going to spend it immediately. It's for emergencies. Then when the rest of the dues money comes in from last year, You could move, if you need to, you could move some of that contingency money into the budget areas where you know you're going to need it. You just do that at the next meeting through a motion. And put the dues money that comes in into dues. It is income coming in.
You're
Or if it makes you
complicating
feel
it.
any better, add a line in here saying late dues.
That makes more sense.
Okay, put late dues and what you anticipate.
Yeah, because I
That,
mean, you can't make a plan to spend if you don't know what you're spending. So
but
we know we're getting $1,200
okay,
worth of dues. So we have to break it down for within that money that we're going to use for them. We got to break it down into meeting expenses, convention, and remember whatever we're going to use it, because you're a budget's anticipating what you're going to do.
right.
And
So
so if you don't anticipate that money, you can't plan wisely.
So you decide how you're going to anticipate. You can either anticipate it under dues itself, or maybe you make a separate one that says, late showing dues or past due dues. It doesn't matter whether they're late or not, since you're not going to journal them. You can include those late funding dues in with your dues money, because especially if you don't anticipate them coming late until the next year for the current year. It sounds like you're always a quarter behind.
That's exactly right.
Okay, so figure that quarter that you anticipate in dues without figuring that last quarter that you know you're not going to get in the current year as income. Because you're not going to try to spend that last quarter that you don't know that you're going to get in the current year anyway in the budget,
All right.
correct?
But it doesn't come in even quarters. The amounts we get, in our case, from the first amount we get to the fourth amount again, it dwindles. So by the time we get to that last amount, it may be just a piddling amount of money.
That's
and we
right.
never know exactly how much is going to be. It's not like in our case, we have 58 members. That would be $580 that we would get a fourth of each that time. No, I don't know how it works. We get maybe 300 the first time, and then whatever the next. And by the time we get to the fourth one, like last year, it was not even like less than $10. But we don't know. We don't know what it's going to be.
Well, one thing that Tara will tell you is that your first check, the first quarter dues are always going to be more. And Tara, you may want to speak to this, because cash payer dues come in always makes the first quarter check more than some of the others, because all that cash comes in at one time.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah. All right, but here's one of the issues is that the first money you get that is my September or however late it is going to be that dwindled amount from the prior year.
That's right.
And so your first quarter, your real first quarter money from
won't come till November or December.
Yeah, that's right. So, usually probably December. So half of your year is gone before you actually receive the big amount, that comes in that first quarter.
In our case, we got our first amount of local dues for 25-26. I deposited on December the 2nd.
Deposited mine on January 2nd.
So,
and then we got, all right, I'm going on down. We got our second quarter in April. We got our third quarter. Yeah, let's see if we can. In July.
You didn't get your third quarter dues until also after the 2026 year was over. I mean,
we got mine yet.
Yeah. So see, that was just the third. That was just the third quarter of dues, and you won't get your fourth quarter dues. Although it is more of a dwindled amount. It's a kind of a good amount. What we're trying to say is it is difficult to do what you're asking us to do about budgets and all of this when you're always at least 1 or 2 quarters behind getting what's coming to.
Okay, so, but if you use cash flow, it'll make a little bit of difference. If you pull that cash forward, whatever you had left over, put it more toward contingency, and then move it up to areas as you go along, that may help it work some. But we also can work with the region treasurers, because and Tara can tell you this too, we receive money from NCAE for NCRSP monthly. So your regional treasurer gets a monthly check from NCAE, from NCRSP. And then your treasurer sends it out quarterly. But they are receiving a monthly check, not a quarterly check, from NCRSP. Every month, the amount of dues that we have for your local or your region is sent to the regional treasurer. Then it becomes the regional treasurer's responsibility to issue those checks in a timely manner. It's not being held up by NCAE or NCRSP. You've got a problem in the regional treasurer's department in terms of what do you all consider to be timely amounts of money coming from the region treasurer to you all.
Okay, now Gretchen, I want to make absolutely positively clear. We do not expect the regional treasurer to be to do this monthly or anything. This is nothing. This is not a slam against the regional directors. It's just reality. It's just reality of the way this works. And I'm just trying to get it out there that budgeting, doing a budget for us is a little bit difficult. But I'm absolutely not asking the regional directors. They got a lot of checks that they've got to send out to all of their locals, in their regions. And I'm not asking that. I'm just trying to impress upon everybody that budgeting and doing that isn't as easy as it sounds. And we'll do the best we absolutely can, but it might not be a stellar job. And we don't have a CPA, that we can depend on, to do things. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I can say for this, for region budgets. Now listen to me, for region budgets. Region budgets are going to have pass-through accounts. In other words, the region's going to take in the money for every local monthly.
Mm-hmm.
And then quarterly, they're going to disperse all that money that they've gotten for the quarter. Because by the first of every month, they should have in hand the dues money for every local in their region.
But do they have the breakdown for the dues?
Yes, they do. Tara is responsible for, she gets all that information from NCAE. She breaks it down and she sends a list of every local with the amount of money that local is supposed to get. Am I being incorrect, Carol or Tara?
No, that is correct.
Okay.
But does that come monthly or quarterly?
Excuse me?
Does the breakdown come monthly or quarterly?
Monthly.
Tara, I have to answer that. Tara, I'm
Okay,
assuming
so
it comes monthly though.
can you hear me?
Yes, I
Yeah.
can.
Okay. So the dues that comes with the actual ACH payment to the regional treasurers gives a monthly breakdown of what has been received from NCAE on behalf of the members for that particular month only. There's a breakdown for every single check, ACH check, that is transmitted for dues payments. So if you are a local and you're receiving monthly dues distributions now, you should have one for that particular month. If they give you, if the region treasurers send you quarterly your dues, either they're going to add them all up and give you one breakdown, or they will send you every last month worth of breakdown in that one check if they're holding it quarterly. Okay, so it's going to depend on your regional treasurer and how they send you your dues. Either monthly, you'll get one. Quarterly, you may get three individual monthly breakdown of your dues, because that's how we actually process them now from NCAE. It's on a monthly basis. Any questions on that?
So I guess what I'm saying, the money's there. It goes out monthly
Yes.
to them. They're told how much each local should get. They could either total the 3 months together and send it to you with one check, or they could send it to you monthly. They have it that way if they want. If everybody says though that the checks are cost too much to be able to send them out every month. Of course, you could go to electronic ACH too, and it could go electronically into your bank accounts.
But then how do we have a record? You know, now I get the check, I take it, I have a deposit slip to put in my books saying this was such and such dues. So,
Well, when I do mobile deposit all the time. It shows up on my statement. And you can print it out if you want to, but basically just comes on your statement and it shows the date that it was posted to your account with the amount. And for mobile deposit, it'll tell you all the mobile deposits, how much they were for, and all of that in the record. So you could print it out like that. But yeah, so basically what you're telling me is you've got a cash flow problem. And if at any point, I would say it's not, no, let me think about how I want to ask this question. You know that the money's going to be slow in coming, is what you're telling me. But at some point, do you have a cash flow problem where you're not going to be able to pay for something because the money hasn't come in yet?
Gretchen, we do not. And it is because we have built up over the years a good, what you would, I guess, call a contingency fund. And I'm all I'm saying is that our budget that we send in to you on October the 15th may not make a whole lot of sense, but it works for us because we have built up over the years, we've built up a good fund. And so we don't have a cash flow problem. I just have a problem with, I'm afraid our budget's not going to look right to y'all and you're going to say you're fired.
Okay, but let me ask you this. You may get the dues late, but you're going to anticipate, but the dues are going to arrive.
Right.
And you're going to pretty much get what you're supposed to get. It may not be getting it on the date that you want to have it. But you should anticipate in dues what you should anticipate for the whole year. You put and budget the same way with the idea you have a contingency. If it's not going to cause you a cash flow problem, then anticipate the whole thing and put it into expense. Then you'll have a balanced budget.
This one.
Okay. I mean, as long as we're okay, that's fine. As I say, we just have some to carry over every year. It's just the budget might not be. Pretty much the budget's going to be about the same thing every year, because we unfortunately we're losing some members through debt. And so our budget may be a little bit slenderer, from year to year, but we're okay. There's no cash flow problem. I'm just saying the budget, we may have to do a little bit of tinkering with the budget. And that's okay with me if it's okay with y'all. I mean, with whoever the powers that be.
Well, just be sure that, all you have to do is to amend your budget. If you want to amend, you could amend income. If you want to amend on expenditures, you could amend on expenditure.
Okay.
You just have to do it at a meeting and have it approved. It's got to come forth in a motion.
Okay.
Okay. The one thing I want to concentrate on here for just a second is the thing about donations. Now, this is the one thing that can happen with scholarships. For donations, you can donate to your local foundations, county foundations, to the North Carolina Foundation for School Children, to Manna Food Bank, wherever you want to donate. All you have to do is to put it in the budget and have it approved. That's what's different from scholarship. Okay. So for scholarship, you can't put the scholarship in here, but you can put donations, community service, as long as you put it into the budget and it's approved by the budget committee and by your membership. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We found out the links aren't working yet. We'll work on the links in case you want to use any of this. I think I got most of what I could think of as being expenses in here. But please, I didn't put contingency, but please feel free to add contingency. And if you have other things that you all do for the community or for your members, then please add them into budget items that you spend money on. Okay. I just did a reimbursement form. It'll be online if you want it. But just to remind everybody, before you write a check for anything, be sure you fill out a form of some kind that says, who am I reimbursing? What am I reimbursing them for? How much am I reimbursing? On what date is this occurring? That kind of thing. The receipt. I tend to scotch tape my receipts on the back. Scotch tape the evidence of receipt of what I'm paying for on the back of the disbursement form. Other people like to staple them. I figure lots of times they get away with stapling. They tend to come unstapled and move away.
Who gets this reimbursement form or the form that you fill out when you're dispersing money? Who does the treasurer hold on to that?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That's your proof.
Okay.
You can't do an audit without a disbursement form. The disbursement form, the receipt match the check. The check matches the checkbook. The checkbook matches the form from the bank saying it cleared the bank. It's it's how you get to the root of how all the money was spent. Was it spent according to the budget? Some people, I said code, you can use memo line to show what was the money spent for. That way you know what part of the budget it came out of. But that's the trail of expenditure to prove that you were doing what you said you were doing. And it didn't go for things that you didn't say it was going to go for. Okay, does that make sense? Okay.
Is there a special form to do that? Do you have I mean, is it on the NCAE website or?
No, it's whatever, I just made that one up today. You can
okay.
you can make one up for your local. I know some people, I know one or two of our treasurers still keep a receipt book, and then they staple the the validation to the receipt. The thing about it is you've just got to, okay, I wrote a check, then who do I write it to? That's what your disbursement form or reimbursement form is going to say. And then on the back of that, is the receipt to prove that that disbursement was for $35 because that's how much I wrote the check for. Okay.
Now, if you're giving a donation, which sometimes we do, you're not going to have a receipt from that. Sometimes we get an acknowledgement letter back from, for example, one of the things that is part of our community service is that we donate to the Dolly Parton Library through our community, one of our community organizations. They usually may send us a letter back, which I have a form like you've been doing that I did, that I do attach receipts to. And if it's to, like, I'm reimbursing the president for something she's done or whatever, it's attached or whatever.
So the letters become your receipt.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure I've always done. I mean, I'm not sure I've always kept that. I mean, and sometimes we don't get necessarily one, but so that may be the reason that. But I do. I do a voucher form like you're doing.
But you do, if you get like, I get my letters from the Manna Food Bank. I've gotten my letters from the Buncombe Foundation and the Asheville Foundation. I keep those letters because those are my receipt letters that will match my check, which says that this is how much I wrote it for. When they send me a letter back that says thank you for your $500 donation, then that matches my Buncombe County Foundation check for $500.
Well, I don't know that I have all the ones from past years, but anything we do from now on, I mean, I get them, but I'm not sure that over the years that I've been a treasurer that we've kept them all the time. But we'll do that, and I'll just attach it to the form like I do a receipt from writing a check for expenditures that we get a receipt for.
Okay. So think of it this way. Most of us would find it too much to perhaps keep all of our treasure stuff on, on our Excel or our sheets or whatever. But please keep a notebook that you have put or a file folder that's put together. You can put it in a binder or something. What do they call them? The portfolios that stretch and you can put files into. In other words, what you need is something for each year that has all the information for that year. Now, you need it for at least 7 years. That's the IRS regulation that anything is to be held for at least 7 years. I will tell you that in my room right now, which explains why my room looks like a whoopie-doo, I have our files back to 1990. So I have 36 years worth of treasurer's files.
Grief.
From Asheville, Buncombe County, which don't need to be there, but I don't know what to do with them. I haven't had the courage to dispose of them. I just don't, and they're helpful at times. I've done some research using them, but at least keep 7 years worth of your files, if you would, because that's going to protect you just in case the IRS would ever come calling on your local or region association. Okay?
Gretchen, I have a couple of questions.
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure when to break in and ask them. One of them has already been asked in the chat, and that was, does anybody have a template for the budget?
And the one that I put in here should be available for you to print. I have got to go back and make sure. This is all going to go online. And you should be able to print a copy of it if you wish it. Or don't feel like you got to type it up. You can write it out. Nobody cares whether it's typed or written. We just want to know if you're getting dues, how much dues am I going to get? And then here's what I'm going to pay it out on. Okay?
Okay.
Now, whether those code numbers, are those numbers that we should be using?
I made up those code numbers.
Okay.
They match pretty much what we use at NCRSP.
Okay.
I was asked by the Procedures and Policy Committee to create codes for local and region budgets.
Okay.
So you can use those codes. Those are probably
Okay. Now my second question. Earlier you said 50 to 80% of your dues money should be used for the benefit of your members.
Mm-hmm.
Can you give me an example? Because I don't recall anything that we do for the benefit of our members.
Okay, let's say you have a program and you have invited people in from the local senior citizen center, and they're telling about the senior citizen things that are available in your county. That's a benefit of your members to know what's available in the benefit of your county.
So what, are we paying them or something? I mean,
No. When you have that meeting, your meeting expense for the meeting has benefited your members by having the meeting at which you gave them information that they can use.
50 to 80% of dues money. Okay, let's say that our president invites someone to speak to us.
Uh-huh.
And if we give them an honorarium or something, I mean, I still don't understand the money part of it.
Okay, so we meet at a cafeteria here in Asheville. So my meeting expense is $75 to rent the room. I have 20 people in attendance, of which I paid them $10 each on their lunch that day.
Okay.
That's $200. So I've spent $275 so far. It cost me $20 to do the printing of the materials that people are going to use.
Okay, gotcha. Printing, renting.
Yeah, so I add all of that up and I do, say, 7 meetings during the year at that average. Then I look at how much dues money did I take in? How much did I take in dues? I compare it. I see the idea to at least maybe 50% to 80% of what I did in meeting expenses or convention expenses help my members. If it did, you're doing what you're supposed to do.
Okay.
And remember, even membership recruitment is to help your members, because the more members you have, the more power you have, the more you can move the legislative groups.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Gretchen, is that 50 to 80% of your local dues?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, it's actually any dues. Like when we, I could probably, if I really thought about it, I might be able to quote you what the NEA budget was for this year. But the strategic plan that they have out had most, if you were to look at it, it was to the benefit of education or members. And remember also that we also help with our community and with public schools. So if you do any community services, you may make a contribution to like we made a big contribution to the Manna Food Bank, because Manna Food Bank distributes food to most of Western North Carolina. And our kids were in trouble because they took our SNAP benefits away. We needed some way to feed our kids. So we considered that a benefit to our mission for public education. And actually, if you think about the number of retirees that may need food assistance, you know, if you're 90, 93, 94 years old, your retirement may not be that much. You may need a little assistance. If we send out postcards to our representatives, we're working on behalf of our members to improve their lot by trying to get better insurance or a COLA for them. That's what it means to be working on on behalf of your members, is what we are doing, trying to help make it better for them.
I think I see the problem, not the problem, but the reason I was asking that question, I guess, is that our members don't ask for anything back. They will tell you they don't need reimbursement for postage. They don't need this or that. Now, I do when I'm sending out the forms at the beginning of the membership year. But other than that, other than, let's say, a convention costs, and Laura does ask for money for printing the newsletter, yeah. But we rarely have any meeting room costs, you know, because we meet at the library, or it might be $35. So I'm understanding it now. It's just that we don't have many expenses. But I see that the ones that we do have do benefit the members. I understand that now.
Okay. And remember, part of what you're doing is on their behalf for your mission and goals. Okay? Because the membership dues are to go for the mission and goals of the organization, which is to help our retirees, and our other goal is on behalf of public education. Okay. Woodard, do you have a question?
Yes, I actually do. You've said several things about the budget. To begin with, you said that the budget should be outlined so that it shows the budget, the amount spent, the amount remaining.
Oh, that's a financial report. Yes.
Okay. Okay. This is the financial report.
So, okay, what you're looking at right here is like a budget. So if I came over here by code 500 and I came to 501 and I said, okay, we're going to spend $200. If I say budgeted in the next column is $200. And then I go to the next one and I say, spent to date, $75. Then another column says amount remaining. That would be $125. That's how a financial report works.
Okay. All right. I hear you. I understand what you're saying. But I don't have the expertise to set up an Excel spreadsheet. So that requires a lot of calculations, in order to do three columns the way you're saying. And then the other thing, the budget that has to be sent in to you or to the office, on October 15th. There, what you have, the examples with the codes and everything, that's fine. But again, how is it going to calculate, or are we expected to take each of these codes and calculate this to do the report?
Actually, I calculate my budget by hand.
Okay.
But I mean, I can do budget analysis on Excel if I need to do it. I've done budget analysis of school systems and
Yeah, well,
projected
I'm
budget.
just saying I don't have the expertise to
Yeah,
do.
if you have a calculator and you can add, where are you located?
Iredell County.
Iredell?
Yes.
All right. Then you tell me when you're available, give me a call or send me an email.
Okay, thank
I'll
you.
be over to see you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I go to Hickory to get my hair done. I can probably find myself to Iredell County if I work real hard at it, okay?
All right, thank you.
Don't
Because,
you laugh at me, Sharon.
I mean, I'm new. This is my first year being treasurer. It just seems to
You're
be
fine.
really overwhelming
Okay.
with this stuff.
Okay. Sharon's laughing at me because I think at our last meeting, I made a trip out to Clay County, which was out in Georgia, really. I went to Georgia and helped out there. I'm happy to help because basically, I'm an English teacher by trade. I taught middle school English, and at one point in my life, I taught senior literature and senior English. But I've done a lot of work in budgets, so that's the only reason I do some of this. But you will find that English teachers make outstanding budget people
Oh,
because we
that's
never
good to
look
know.
at a budget the same way people who have math skills look at it.
Okay.
I
Uh,
look at it like I'm reading a mystery novel and I want to solve what needs to be happening in it.
Gretchen, that gives me some confidence. I'm a former English teacher as well, but our previous treasurer kept beautiful books. She was a librarian,
It's
but
all those
she
Dewey Decimal System numbers she worked with.
okay, yeah, but she was like she works part time uh, as a bookkeeper for for her brother's business, and so she was using Excel, and I told her that I don't know how to use Excel, and at this twilight of my life, I'm not sure I want to spend my time learning it. And she said, Iris, you don't need to use Excel. She said, I do
No,
that, but you don't have to. As long as you can show what you spent and prove that you spent it that way and show it to
that's
your
all you got to
members,
do. You're right.
you know.
Absolutely
Mhm.
right. So
Uh,
we can get this done, folks. You just
mhm.
need if you need help or you have problems, we can Zoom or I'll come see you. Uh, I run up and down the highway, as I said. I've even been known to drive further than Raleigh, but I will be coming to Raleigh on a regular basis, and I would be happy to stop in and see you. I don't even charge him for it if I'm going to my brother's. He lives in Youngsville.
Mhm.
Okay. And if I'm getting my hair done, I'm going to get my hair done no matter what. So I'm happy to help if it's there around the Charlotte area or Iredell or even up near the Virginia line. Okay. So just know that we're as close as your phone, your computer, or riding my little horse over to see you. Okay. That's the personal form. Okay. Now, this is about membership dues. Everybody understand who cash payers are and what the cash payer forms are?
Mhm.
Okay, so you'll get those in the mail. And then you will be sending out copies of the cash payer form for our members to sign and either send you back a check, or if they decide that they want to change their method of payment, they can change it on the form, or we can have them call Carol or Tara. And Carol in particular works with cash payers. If a cash payer wants to change the way they pay, Carol, I think you'll be happy to do that, won't you?
Absolutely. I can get their credit card information or their banking information, put it into their record, and then request NCAE to change them from the status of check cash payers to either EFT electronically from their bank account or RCC recurring credit card, or either for payroll if they want it taken directly out of their retirement check.
Could you repeat that, please?
Sure. Electronic funds transfer is EFT electronically from their bank account. All I need is their routing number and their bank account number, and I can put that into the system and then request NCAE to change their dues payment method. RCC just need their credit card, the expiration date, and the code, and ask NCAE to change them from check pay to RCC recurring credit card, or payroll deduction, PR, which the dues would be taken monthly out of their monthly retirement check.
What about a check?
That's a cash payer.
That's a cash payer.
Send the transmittal form with the name, the member's name, and their membership ID number and the amount of their check and their check number. You create a log and you send me 3 or 23, how many you have each week, if you want to send them in weekly.
Okay, if you want to refer to that transmittal form now, Carol, it's up there in front of them.
Right. That's the transmittal form. And there's the actual dues invoice that tells them the breakdown, because this is a 4-part membership. So they see how much they pay NEA, and that's where all their member benefits come from, how much they pay NCAE to continue supporting the lobbying work that they do on their behalf to make sure the benefits are always there. Then you see how much goes to the region and how much goes to the local. So they have that breakdown, then they see how much they need to send in, the total amount of dues in their check. And so you put that, a copy will go to them, a copy will stay with you, and a copy comes back to the state with hopefully with their check paperclip to it, and then paperclip everything to the transmittal form and send it in.
So, so this is what the transmittal forms and the cash payer forms are going to come in an envelope sent to you by our wonderful folks in Raleigh. And then I always include a letter from me, because I like my folks to send their stuff back to me. That way I can keep a better account of it. And these, your cash payer forms are going to be color coded. The member gets to keep a pink copy. The local will keep a yellow copy. You'll get to keep the yellow copy. It's the white copy with the check that you're going to put on the transmittal form with the transmittal form to send it to Carol. And you don't have to wait for all the checks to come.
Now you can make as many copies of the transmittal form as you need to send in checks to us.
And Tara will tell you that it's to your benefit to get those check paying members to pay as soon as possible, because you get that money in that first quarter of dues checks.
Mm-hmm.
Because they come in usually during the first quarter.
We'll try to get those cash pay forms to the local treasurers mid-August because they are due September 1st to start coming back to the state office.
And if I were to go back one form here, we like for everybody to be paid up by December the 15th, because if you're not paid by December the 15th, you can't vote. Is that correct? If any elections are coming up.
And you also can't be a delegate to convention.
Convention, right. All right. Now, as an officer, you're going to receive from NEA reporting how many members you have check payers, how many new members, anybody who's dropped, and then the whole local, who all are members. So anybody have questions about this, how to do this part of it? Okay. The big thing is, besides, collecting the membership dues, dispersing checks, if you have fundraisers or donations, you got to do something with that. Now, just remember that as treasurer, you don't get to make decisions all by yourself about what your local or region is going to do with their money. There are many times I might want to make a decision about how the state's going to spend its money or the local's going to spend its money or whatever. But guess what? I don't get to make that decision. I have to depend on a budget committee to tell me, or in terms of the state, it's the administrative council acting as the budget committee who takes the budget to our executive board, and the executive board must approve it before we can spend any money for things. If any of you pay for mileage, like for regional meetings or for your president to do something, to maybe region president goes to visit a local or something like that. Right now at the state level, we pay 50 cents a mile if you're traveling on business and it's approved. But you as a local have the right to change that. You can make it more if you want to. Just remember that you have to know how far the person's going to be traveling, have an idea for the year, how much travel might be involved and how much that's going to cost you. So be sure to think about that as you make a budget.
Excuse me, Gretchen, is there a form for that where they put down their mileage, or the local can make a form?
The local on the disbursement form, or the region on the disbursement form, can have a little thing at the bottom where it says mileage. You put down miles traveled, you put down the date, miles traveled, and how much it is a mile. They multiply that out and put the amount due, and it goes up with the rest of the stuff. Like if you're going to reimburse them for a meal, the meal would go there. The mileage would go there. They would total the two together, and you would have it all on one form.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. If you're trying to figure out, the queen of mileage is Miss Carol McLam. Take a big trophy there, Carol. We were trying to figure out a pretty complicated thing, and she went on Google Maps and figured out for our executive board how far each person had to travel to our state convention, and figured out round trip how much that would be at 50 cents a mile. So if you pay all your officers or you pay people to do things, that's the best way to do it, is to look at where they live, figure out where they're going, put it on Google Maps, and it's going to tell you exactly how far, and then multiply it by whatever the mileage reimbursement is. See, you thought when you got through with third grade, you wouldn't have to figure out time and how long is it going to take me to get there if I started 50 minutes before I did. No. Nobody collects money except you. Dues money is collected by the treasurer, not by the membership person. It's collected by the treasurer. I had a question in my last session. I thought this was really good. Okay, membership person is signing up somebody for membership. That person doesn't want to be on any of our payment options. They want to pay for it by check. It's okay for the membership person to get a one-time check for the whole amount from somebody as long as it gets to you immediately, because you are responsible for the money collected. You know, if it says that there was a $150 check there, we need to know that. And it should be coming to you. All right, I'm looking to be sure anything else. This is the policy handbook. It's online. You can click that link. It'll take you over to it. Please when you got a minute, take a few minutes and read through the policies and procedures manual. Because there's whole sections of it devoted to, okay, if somebody's going somewhere, how much do they get paid for going? And it explains it all out. If you are paying for people to go from the local to go to the convention, they're going to want to know beforehand, am I going to get any money to go? Some locals pay a flat amount per delegate. And those delegates figure out among themselves if they want to room together, if they're going to carpool, what's going to happen. Others will say, okay, we'll pay half the price of the room. We'll pay so much per mile, but only if you carpool. Whatever the deal is, it needs to be written down and it needs to be adopted so that people know, if I'm going to go to the NCRSP convention and I'm willing to be a delegate, then this is how much they're going to help me out to be able to go, and it won't come out of my own money. Does that make any sense to people?
Yes.
Okay. That's pretty important stuff. So please, please, please take a few minutes and look at, and it doesn't have to be printed up as a policy and procedure, though it's pretty nice to have it. It can go in the minutes, and those minutes then can be something that you distribute when it's time. That's the kind of minutes you really want to keep a hold of. Okay?
Is the policy handbook online at the website? Okay.
Yes. Okay. You should have, so what does your budget do? Your budget really pays for your mission, your goals, whatever your priorities are for the year. Your budget should reflect whatever it is are your goals for the year or your strategic plan. And making sure that you're in compliance with all NCRSP policy. And now we're going to talk about everybody's favorite thing. So we're going to talk about tax law. Take a great big breath and breathe out calmly, because I'm going to maybe give you some good information. Okay, the next part of this is from Matt Howard, the former finance director of NCAE. And this is just some good information. All right. As a organization, we are what they call a 501c6. That's our Internal Revenue Code. In other words, we are a nonprofit. I think all 501s are nonprofits. But a 501, you may have heard of 501c3s. We are not a 501c3. A 501c3 is a charitable organization. Anybody who gives to a 501c3 can take that off their taxes if they deduct taxes. But if somebody gives you a check for something, you're not a 501c3. You are not a charitable deduction. That's something important to know. You are not a charitable deduction organization. It means that you have a common business interest. Our common business interest is acting on the behalf of our retirees and on the behalf of public education. Our primary purpose to exist is to promote that common business interest. It's to be out there talking about insurance for retirees. It's to be out there talking about retirees deserve a COLA. It's to be out there talking about vouchers aren't good for public schools. Our public school teachers need to earn more. Our kids need more in their classrooms. Our kids should have free lunch and a free breakfast. So that's what we should be doing. We must be a membership organization, and we are. You got to pay us to join and have a good time with us. But remember that we're to have meaningful membership support, and that's what we're talking about when we talk about through NEA we have membership benefits that they can get travel dollars, they can get their auto insurance from there. You all happen to be, as a retiree from North Carolina, as a public employee, you are on a Medicaid, not a Medicaid, woo, an HMO. I did not retire from North Carolina as an educator. I taught but I live in North Carolina because I taught for many years in Tennessee, but live in North Carolina. I can be a North Carolina retired teacher member. But because of that, I don't have my insurance is not like yours. So I have what I call a Medicare supplement. And I have bought that Medicare supplement from NEA member benefits because it's so much cheaper that I can get it from anywhere else. You can get your home insurance, you can get your house and home. You can get your car insurance. Travelers has an insurance program with them. Uh, and there's a new one that I have not fully explored yet that's going to be coming called Shop and Save. And even though you end the year with money left over, okay, if you end the year with $2,000 left over, you on the executive committee cannot decide to divide that $2,000 among yourselves and start all over the beginning of the next year. You cannot profit from this, okay? Does everybody understand you can't take that money home? All right. Can't use the president as example, so we got to be sure that you all understand not to do that. Now, we have tax exempt status, and we continue to have that tax exempt status as a state organization. We file a 990 tax form every year, and we have a CPA who prepares it. Now, for a while, people didn't know that they needed to file every year a tax form. It's for everybody in NCRSP except the state organization, it would be a postcard form. But if you don't file that for 3 years in a row, you lose your tax exempt status. Nearly everybody has lost their tax exempt status. So we're working with a CPA to get everybody back into a tax exempt position. You're not having the kind of money that you're going to have to pay taxes right now at any local or region level. But we want to put you back in nonprofit status. So we will be working with the CPA to do that. And the other one I want to talk about is the EIN number. That's an employer identification number. There should be a 9-digit EIN number associated with your checking account. So you are required to have that. If you don't know what your EIN number is, you can go to your local credit union or bank, wherever your checking account is. The EIN number should be associated with that checking account. So you go to whoever has your banking account and ask for your EIN number if you don't know it. Now, if you're a regional treasurer, I need your EIN number so I can start working with our CPA. If you look through this, you would find out that you don't have to file because you don't owe any taxes because you don't take in more than $50,000 a year, and you certainly don't have assets over $200,000 a year or $500,000 a year. Okay, I think that's the last one. So this is about the fact that if you haven't filed for 3 years, they revoke your tax exemption, or they actually take you out as a nonprofit. So what we're in the middle of trying to do is to get back that nonprofit status for everybody and all of us be where we're supposed to be. And I'm not going to go into the postcard. And I'm going to stop it right there and just tell you, don't worry about all the tax stuff until I can get the CPA to tell me everything I need to know. And we will be bringing that back to you through the executive board. The executive board will be making decisions on that. In the meantime, all I ask is you make sure that you do have a EIN number attached to your bank account. The bank or credit union should be able to tell you what it is. It's very important that you have the right EIN number. We're going to be sending this out to you. The only thing you really need to worry about on here is if you want to see if you have tax exempt status, you go to this first blue line here, tap on it and put your EIN number and it will tell you. Okay? Are there other questions? Oh, by the way, one reason to put that EIN number and look it up is one of my treasurers called the credit union and got what she thought was her EIN number. She filled out the postcard form for taxes and got a tax bill for $17,000 because they had given her the State Employee Credit Union EIN number as her EIN number. So the CPA we worked with was kind enough for a very small amount of money for what he had to do to write the necessary things to the IRS to fill out the forms and get everything straightened out for her. I will be forever grateful to him for doing that because I would have had a heart attack if it had happened to me. I'm so glad she's okay from it. But what was interesting is her name's Gretchen too. It was Gretchen talking to Gretchen trying to solve all of that. So anybody have any questions or anything I can answer?
All right, so right now we should not do anything. Just make sure we have an EIN number, but other than that, we should not do anything
If
until we
you
hear from you.
if you have filed the postcards in the past, I hope to be back to you before April the 1st of 2027.
Okay, we've
With
never.
an answer.
No,
If you filed in the past, go on and file it.
okay, we have never. I mean, not
Okay, then
all
don't worry about it.
the 20-some years, and that was the worry, was that if we went ahead, if we did one this year, and we've never done one for 20 years, we were afraid we might end up with $17,000 tax kind of thing. So all right. So right now we're sitting tight.
Just make sure you have an EIN number.
Okay, that might be a problem too. Our bank.
Well, years and years and years ago, they started talking about this stuff. So I went to the bank, although the bank has changed hands and names over the years, but it's the same bank. And we with the bank person tried to go through that form and fill it out, and I got sent a number. But I'll tell you the truth, I don't know if it's the right kind of nonprofit and all that kind of stuff for all these years. We've never found one. So the number that I think I have, although I'm going to check with the bank and make sure that what I got sent all those years ago from IRS
right
about the number is the right kind of number. But I'll be honest with you, when I went to the bank to try to do it, the form they were filling out, there was stuff they were asking me that I didn't know any answer to. So I don't, so they filled it out and we filed it. And I got sent back stuff, but I have no idea if it's correct.
Yeah, you've done all you can do for right now.
Okay. Good. Thank you.
Thank you all for number one is coming today. And thank you for being willing to be treasurers of your organization. I can't tell you how thankful we are to have you and to have you involved with us. We really, 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 really appreciate it. And as I said, you could feel free to email me, feel free to call me, feel free to, if you got a question about those cash payers, raise your hand, Carol. You look for Carol McLam. She'll help you. If you need an audit form, you look for Tara Williams. If you want to know about your local dues disbursement or when the dues are going to be coming, talk to Tara. She's in charge of that part of it, okay? So just know that you have some really great people there in Raleigh who are going to help you out. So call Raleigh, call me. We're as close as your telephone, we're as close as your computer. And thank you again. Oh, who has the numbers? Did everybody register when they came in? Am I supposed to say, did you register?
The attendance link is in the chat, so click on that and put your name in for the draw.
We got something for you. We got a goodie for you if you'll put your name in the link.
I tried to do that a while ago and I messed up all your screen. So that we tried to put in on the attendance link and then the screen went away and I was afraid I was losing you right in the middle of the postcard deal.
Okay, try it now.
We're doing now.
Okay,
we're doing.
Go down to the chat and you can fill in an attendance form.
All right, this is Mary Morris from, excuse me, this is Mary Morris from Pasquotank, and I was late getting in, and I'm not sure I know how to go to the chat to find out how to put my name in.
Okay, sort of roll
I just did it.
of your screen.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
She did it for you? Okay.
I'm not sure I did mine either. I'm not sure. I got to chat.
Frankie, I did yours too.